Earlier today, the Department of Justice took down the website Darkode. This is a hacking website where they actually sell malware, different exploit kits, even botnets, and some pretty sophisticated things, including access to cell phones, to exploits, that'll work against Android or Apple and Windows, etc. Not to mention just access to complete botnets and pretty much any type of hacking thing that you want. Now, this website it wasn't an Onion website, it wasn't on the dark web. The website was created in 2008, and to access it, you actually had to be invited by another member, and they started requiring actual credentials, and you actually having to trade pretty much information and stuff just to kind of get into the website. It was the more difficult part of it. So, the investigation from what has been released so far seems like it started about a year and a half ago by the FBI after they had arrested some people and kind of got gained access to the website. Now, apparently, this raid was over 20 different countries, and 70 people were arrested, including 12 from the United States. It hasn't been released yet how long uh, the government had access to the website. I do believe at one point in time the site was actually vulnerable to Heartbleed attack. I might be mistaken on that. It was a while back, but it's not known if they gained access via hacking or managed to get in through one of the people they arrested, etc. But they definitely had people on the inside for a while now and had been tracking and trying to gain the actual information of the other individuals from the site. Darkode was one of the bigger, well, actually, it was supposedly the biggest hacking website where they sold exploits and malware and rootkits and pretty much anything you would want to get your hands on if you were a cyber criminal. There are other websites that sell this type of information and data access, but this was pretty much one of the most popular and heavily used. More information, including the people's names of the Americans that got arrested and what their charges are, which actually can be pretty extensive. There's one guy I think had over 2 million um, cases of stealing data from users' computers. This information is on my website, and the link is in the description, or you can just go bit.ly/darkode, Darkode. So this takedown happened on July 15th. Unfortunately, if it would have been a lot more convenient if it was about a week earlier, because last Monday we had the release of the files from Hacking Team, which is a big company that actually sells exploits and stuff to other governments and other organizations, basically. And their servers were hacked, and all their data was thrown up online, which included some really crafty um, uh, drive-by exploits, basically where you just go to a website and it just automatically hacks your computer, and that worked on OS X, on um, I believe Linux too, and Windows. So there was some really cool exploits, of course, some for Android, maybe even some iPhone ones, I forget. And unfortunately, because this site was up, and because the source code was available for the um, exploits, because the hacker group that hacked Hacking Team threw it up online, it was quickly modified for use with illegal hackers. And I mean, within 24 hours, there was sales of these exploits and whatnot. So it is nice, to have the site down for a while. Granted, the people that didn't get busted are definitely going to be popping up on other sites, but it might put a little damper in some of the hacking that's going on currently. And more importantly, it'll actually probably cut down on the use of like stolen credit card information and personal information, because while people's computers might still be infected and still may become infected, some of the command and control servers are no longer going to be accessible by the people that were running them, if not completely just dumped and wiped, uh, to help prevent them from getting caught. So this is quite an interesting takedown, coordinated over 20 countries, and I'll let the people from the Department of Justice explain the rest.
Darkode represented one of the gravest threats to the integrity of data on computers in the United States and around the world, and the most sophisticated English-speaking forum for criminal computer hackers in the world. Darkode has been deemed, quote, the best malware marketplace on the web, close quote. Darkode was a tightly controlled worldwide forum for exchange among criminals who traffic in cyber criminal tools such as exploit kits, botnets, ransomware programs, and mass spamming. Zero-day malware, a particularly pernicious exploit which exposes and attacks system vulnerabilities prior to the correction or even the awareness of the provider, was one of the many items featured on Darkode. To be accepted into the Darkode forum, a prospective new member had to be invited by an existing member and could only gain admission by posting what was tantamount to a professional resume of illegal hacking capabilities, which would enhance the criminal purpose of the forum. Darkode's members conspired to generate ill-gotten cash through fraud, extortion, and money laundering. Darkode has been masterminded by a series of sophisticated cyber criminals, proficient at computer intrusions and stealing. Darkode members have compromised millions upon millions of computers, servers, cell phones, bank accounts, and social media accounts, and a conservative estimate is that losses to victims of Darkode in terms of dollars and privacy have been extreme. In the last 24 hours, a coordinated takedown occurred involving cooperation of law enforcement of 20 countries around the globe, resulting in the arrest, charging, and search of 70 individuals who are Darkode members or their associates. Today, we are announcing charges which have been filed in the United States against 12 of those 70 individuals pursuant to this investigation, which was led by the FBI and the United States Attorney's Office here in Western Pennsylvania, and also included the Criminal Division of the United States Department of Justice. In addition to the criminal charges, we have obtained court authorization to shut down the Darkode forum. This takedown culminates a long and difficult investigation and represents a huge achievement. Protecting victims of illegal cybercrime is a priority of the Department of Justice and this office, and this case represents another important watershed in our effort to make the Internet safe and subject to the rule of law. The level of cooperation among the 20 countries participating in the investigation and takedown is unprecedented. In addition to historically reliable international partners, this operation expanded the coalition of nations cooperating against cybercrime to include Costa Rica, Colombia, Brazil, Israel, Cyprus, and Macedonia. Through this operation, we have dismantled a cyber hornet's nest of criminal hackers which was believed by many to be impenetrable, including believed to be impenetrable by the hackers themselves. While we have shut down the forum, we are also exposing Darkode members and their schemes in 9 separate charging documents filed in the Western District of Pennsylvania, the Eastern District of Wisconsin, the Northern District of Georgia, the District of Columbia, and the Western District of Louisiana. Darkode members have been charged here with using Facebook spreaders to create botnets which they would auction off malware to infect cell phones and take victims' personal information, and bulletproof servers to infect thousands of computers to send millions of fraudulent spam text messages. This criminal enterprise, which has been the platform for other notable malware schemes such as SpyEye, Zeus, Citadel, the Black Hole Exploit Kit, and CrimePack, as well as serving as the meeting place for groups such as the Lizard Squad, is no more. Through the high-level infiltration of Darkode, the FBI has effectively smashed the hornet's nest, and we are in the process of rounding up and charging the hornets. I would like to turn it over to Scott Smith for his remarks.
Thank you. This investigation demonstrates an evolution in law enforcement's response to this type of criminal activity. This case is a culmination of a sophisticated 2-year FBI undercover operation. The cyber team of investigators from the Pittsburgh field office infiltrated the underground criminal forum Darkode at the highest levels and used their expertise to collect evidence and intelligence on Darkode members. Cybercrime has evolved to touch every part of our lives and every FBI program. We face cyber threats from state-sponsored hackers, from hackers for hire, from criminal syndicates, and from terrorists. The Darkode hacking forum allowed members to buy the illegal tools they needed to carry out sophisticated cyber schemes. The investigation is believed to be the largest coordinated international law enforcement action targeting online criminal forums to date, with more than hundreds of millions of dollars in losses. I would like to commend United States Attorney Dave Hickton and the Western District of Pennsylvania United States Attorney's Office who worked on this case, along with other FBI offices in Washington, D.C., San Diego, California, and a number of other field offices across the country who helped us throughout this investigation. Today marks a milestone in our efforts to bring to justice some of the most significant cyber criminals in the world. By arresting these individuals and seizing the Darkode hacking forum, we've shut down a dangerous avenue for buying and selling of malware, botnets, and other tools of the trade for cyber criminals. I want to thank our international partners for providing technical support, making arrests, and carrying out search warrants over the course of this long and complicated investigation. And of course, it goes without saying that we couldn't have done this without our private industry partners' help as well. Unfortunately, there's a lot more work to be done. We will continue to go after cyber criminals here and at home, here and abroad, all around the world. Thank you.
Good morning. Thank you, United States Attorney Hickton and Special Agent in Charge Smith. My name is John Lynch. I'm Chief of the Computer Crime and Intellectual Property Section in the Criminal Division of the Department of Justice. I appreciate the opportunity to help announce this important worldwide takedown and congratulate the teams both here in the United States and around the world who worked so hard to put it together over a number of months. The Criminal Division is happy to have supported this important investigation over the last several months and years, drawing upon our close relationships with the U.S. Attorney's offices and Federal Bureau of Investigation field offices here in Pittsburgh and across the United States, including Washington, D.C., Atlanta, and Honolulu. This operation is a great example of what we can accomplish when we work closely together against a global cybercrime marketplace. As you have heard, Darkode grew to become one of the most prolific and dangerous forums for hacking tools and services on the Internet, with members trading in all sorts of tools for breaching and damaging computer systems. Like similar forums that law enforcement has targeted, it became a self-contained market governed by rules and logic that closely mimic those of sophisticated organizations, including expectations about its members' conduct, tiers of membership based upon knowledge, skill, illegal activity, and reputation. As Darkode developed into a private marketplace where hackers from around the world could buy and sell their skills and products of their theft and fraud, Participants used the connections they made there to increase the damage and loss that they could cause, as well as the illicit profits that they could gain. Effectively combating this global threat required close coordination with our international partners. The Criminal Division participated in supporting information sharing and mutual legal assistance requests, including requests to Cyprus, Latvia, and Sweden. This cooperation was managed by the Criminal Division's Office of International Affairs, which handles thousands of such requests every year in all sorts of cases, both cyber and otherwise. My section, the Computer Crime and Intellectual Property section, also supported this effort by assisting with information sharing with numerous foreign partners and coordinating with the FBI legal attaché offices to ensure that information and evidence was shared quickly and efficiently. Throughout, we relied on the FBI Cyber Division and its cyber agents in field offices across the country for the backbone of the investigative work. And of course, all of us also relied on the expertise of the Cyber Initiative and Resource Fusion Unit and National Cyber Forensics and Training Alliance, two FBI organizations based here in Pittsburgh that have been the driving force behind many of our most advanced cybercrime investigations. The effort was also shared among investigators and prosecutors across the United States, particularly here in Pittsburgh. U.S. attorneys' offices here and elsewhere patiently develop cases against players in the Darkode marketplace. My section was happy to play a significant role in several of the investigations and prosecutions, including the prosecutions of Johan Gudmunds, Daniel Plachek, Matjas Skorjanch, and his alleged co-conspirators Florencio Caro Ruiz and Mentor Leniki. We also supported other U.S. attorneys' offices with their prosecutions, including in Atlanta and New Orleans. In conclusion, I'm pleased to be here today to support the outstanding investigators and prosecutors from around the world who collaborated on this important investigation. Their work demonstrates that law enforcement will continue to improve and evolve its international cooperation to address the global cybercrime threat. Thank you.
Be happy to take any questions you might have.
How many people will be prosecuted in Pittsburgh, if any? And you said that the losses here were extreme. Can you put a dollar on it?
I think we have 8 charging documents, of which 5 are here. 9. And the investigation is continuing, so I cannot give a complete answer to your question. But I think the losses to the victims are in 2 silos. One is the invasion of their privacy, which we are protecting by dismantling this forum. And then the second is the exploitation of their information through the various products that these criminals produce. One way to look at this, Elaine, would be think of an earlier day where a criminal organization is sitting around the table and the leader says, you're going to handle bootlegging, you're going to handle numbers, you're going to handle prosecution, you're going to handle drugs, you're going to handle guns. That was that era. In this era, this platform of internet crime is the challenge of our age. And you can substitute ransomware for bootlegging. You can substitute botnets for prostitution. These are the products, and so on and so on. These are the products which these cyber criminals came together in effectively this cyber clubhouse. And you could either subscribe to their offer or you could buy their code. If you look at the specific cases that we brought here, there's an individual named Morgan Culbertson who advertised online something called Dendroid. He went online by a screen name known as Android. And for $300, you could buy his subscription where you could steal basically all aspects of your cell phone. We could take your text messages. We could send text messages remotely. We could take your photographs. We could take photographs for you remotely, making it look like you had taken the photographs, and so on and so forth. So you could also, as advertised, buy this code so you could do it yourself for $65,000. This was brazenly and openly advertised. But this was a secret forum that for all these years that it's been in existence since 2008, we had to date not been able to completely crack. Through the superb leadership and investigative skill of the FBI, we were able to infiltrate the forum, and we were able to identify all these individuals worldwide. And one tribute to how significant this forum is that we are among 20 countries that are participating in this investigation. I mean, another example would be the Eric Crocker case, who went online by Fastman. Eric Crocker, as described in the indictment, offered Facebook spreading, which would be to infiltrate your Facebook account and basically steal your friend list, and then sell your friend list and exploit your friend list many times without you even knowing it. There is really no limit to what these individuals did in their principal and very, very productive criminal activities. But the Darkode Forum was their safe place where they came together to share this hacking and code exchange, which allowed them to do it. And that's why this case is such a significant achievement. Yes?